Unscripted, unshackled, uncouth.
What you're about to hear is for more mature audiences only.
It's Miguel and Holly, Uncensored.
Hello, we are back after having Wednesday off. It's been a little bit of a crazy week here. But before we get into anything, we have Soul Worker Stacy on today with a new Charlotte Platypus Posse member on today. But before we get to that, Holly, last time we talked with you on the podcast on Monday, because you split your time between Tampa Bay and Charlotte.
Yeah.
And so you were there this week in Tampa when Ian came up through. For those that just listened to the podcast, how are you? How was your experience? What happened?
Man, this week has felt so long. I feel like it's been weeks into one. I'm like, I was here in the building, and then I was at home, and then the power went out, and then I did the show still, and then I'm back in the building. It's just 1 week.
Yeah.
It's been really mentally exhausting. And I remember being exhausted when Irma came through 5 years ago. And that was a whole thing because we evacuated. And that's the main reason why we chose not to evacuate this go around, because we were just like, let's just batten down the hatches literally and just ride it out. And Tampa Bay got very lucky that we did not receive a direct hit. But I just feel so bad for our southern neighbors, you know? And so this week has just felt like always being on the edge of your seat. When you're waiting for a hurricane, those are the longest hours. Like you're running around, and it's been so bizarre to me because my job is now in Charlotte, but I'm still going through stuff in Tampa. So like on Tuesday, I had work in the building, and we were like just laughing it up, just talking about Charlotte stuff. It's all just silly fun on the air. We're just having fun. I get off, and I was like, we got to get prepped. Like we're going to buy extra batteries, and we're like literally prepping for a hurricane. And then the next day I'm like, the offices are closed, and I'm doing it in the house. And then all day long, it was like, I'm like, okay, it's anytime now. We're going to start getting wind. Nope, it's moving slower. Okay, anytime now. And you're just waiting and waiting and waiting. Meanwhile, then I'm on the next day. There's no power in the house. And I'm still like, yo, we're in a hurricane. Like there's like level 1 winds going through. And it's like, oh, Charlotte, we're having some festivals this weekend. Then today, finally, like yesterday, the storm ends. Everything is kind of getting back to normal, at least for Tampa. But like everything is different. Everyone's pressure headaches are lifting, and we're like trying now to like calm down after all that. Meanwhile, on the job front, we're like, there's a hurricane coming.
It's here. It's in the Carolinas, girl.
It's like, what? This freaking hurricane don't go away. It's just it's been a very out of body style week for me. But I'm very glad to say, for me personally, there was no damage to the home. We got to figure out how to do storm shutters though, because what this really taught us was that if we were to get hit head on by a Cat 4, Cat 5 hurricane, the windows would blow out. Like, I don't know what would happen. So we have some things to work on in our little area. So learning all the time.
Can you call her back, Kelvin?
Yeah.
Our person, she just messaged us. She got bumped off.
Okay.
That was one of the things that we learned this weekend, or this week with our house that we have in St. Pete still, that was on 100 Day Dream Home, is thankfully one of the things that we splurged on were the hurricane or the impact windows. And so it can take up to like 140 or 135 miles per hour winds and like things coming at it. So we're very lucky. So we actually had a couple of friends that went and stayed in the house because it's unoccupied right now. So they were able to stay there because they were in evacuation zone A. And so they were like super nervous and wanted to be a little bit more protected. Quick shout outs here for those of you watching: Azinda, Doe Eyes, Melody, Anne Marie, Amy, Gordon, Laura Top Life, who is driving back home to the Tampa Bay area from Daytona. There we go. Got everybody.
The first thing I was thinking about when Holly said, we got to do some updates to the house, I'm thinking about that fan in the fucking room.
Get ready. That fan took a fucking backseat real quick because there's so much we got to do now before that damn fan. And what Kelvin is talking about like months ago,
Yes.
I don't even know why we I don't remember what this came from, but I have a ceiling fan in my bedroom that is an indoor-outdoor fan. Like, the materials are made for outside. It's too large for the room. It is really, really trash looking in my bedroom, and I need to fix that. But we found out that my mom's well, she doesn't live there anymore. But upstairs where my mom used to live, the big window in the living room leaks because I was up there doing the show. And I was like, I walked over to look out the window and I saw water beating up. And I was like, geez.
Oh, no.
So I got to figure out possibly one window, or maybe we'll just do the whole house. I know the roof is going to need fixing in the next 3 years, and I want new floors. So I'm like, just add it. Just keep adding shit on. So that fan's going to be there for a freaking long time.
Like, add it to the layout.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, what was interesting is this morning on the show, we had the chief meteorologist from our TV partner here, WCNC Charlotte, and he was saying how, like, normally with like a tropical storm, which is what it is right now, it's warm, but it's actually cold here in Charlotte. So like it's very like sort of cozy cold. So you're like ready to just get bundled up and just be like, I'm feeling very comfy.
It won't be too bad for Charlotte. I mean, it's not like the winds, I think, are going to be the worst thing in Charlotte. The winds were the worst, I think, for Tampa Bay. Not a lot of flooding in Tampa that I saw. I see Doe Eyes on YouTube said her power's still out. So's mine. Yeah. And I think you're dealing with power outages. I don't know if that'll be that way in Charlotte, though.
I don't know. We gonna find out come Monday. How is it looking?
Yeah. So I mean, Godspeed.
All right, we have Soul Worker Stacy on. Soul Worker Stacy, how are you faring through all of this?
Hey y'all, I'm okay. My whole thing is I am blessed. I almost feel guilty for being able to wake up in my bed this morning. Yeah, it's a whole thing, and my heart is dying with watching everything because it's down the way from Holly and I. It's an hour and a half drive.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what blew my mind, Stacy. Like, you're watching this because it was supposed to literally come right for us. That's what everyone was preparing for. And then this is what like all my family's texting me, and I'm like, no, y'all don't understand. It turned like a degree, and we missed devastation by 45 minutes. Like,
literally
insane. Like 45 minutes down the road, decimated, and we got a little rain and Category 1 winds. What?
Yeah.
Bizarre.
It's mind-blowing. Mind-blowing.
You were saying on the phone when I dialed you up that on a couple or a few weeks ago when we had you on, and you were saying that there was something like lurking, coming. Do you think it was this? Was it Ian?
Yeah. yes, I do. After watching all of this, and mind you, I'm who I am. So I always know things, feel things. And I have a lot of friends that are meteorologists and whatnot. I'm like, hey guys, what do you think? And they're telling me how everything is supposed to go. And guys, this was supposed to get us in Tampa Bay. This was that we are in the bullseye. And I'm sitting here, we were bracing for the worst. We even evacuated the whole 9 yards. And then for this to turn the way that it did, and all of a sudden this morning, right before you called, I'm going, this was that thing. To clear out, to show us the appreciation, the build from the positive, to show us how to be more thankful and to have the gratitude. And even for those that are going through it, they still are finding gratitude within the bad situations they're dealing with. And it's it sucks that we have to go and face something like this to have us wake up a little bit. But on the other hand, I'm almost thankful that we have what we have anyways. We're alive. And there's a lot of people walking around going, thank God I'm alive. Forget everything else.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's just, so sad when you see the videos and the pictures and the stories are starting to roll out. And how I think this morning, one of the news podcasts I listened to before the show, and they record that like usually the night before around like 10 o'clock. And so as of 10 o'clock last night, I think they had accounted for I think it was 10 people that had passed away. And that was obviously last night. So we're going to hear more as time goes on. And it's just so heartbreaking to think that that is how it happened. Like the fear that must have been going through their body as, however it happened. And it's just like, these things are no joke, and it is so scary. So doing everything you can to prepare for it leading up to it is the best way to try to protect yourself. Stacy, where did you end up going?
I ended up at a friend's house in Seminole, and that is a little local area in Pinal County where we live, and it was just a no flood zone. Because down here, our biggest worry is the water. Just like in Port Charlotte and all that, we're almost under sea level here. So we don't play with the water at all with storm surge by any means. So
it's like Holly said, it's been a weird week because my social media, it's like half Tampa, half Charlotte. So like I would see like, oh my God, scary hurricane party. And then it's like us in Charlotte and we're like, it's sunny out. Dude, what are we doing?
You're just living life. You're just like living normal life, which is that's what's supposed to happen. But it's just so weird having one foot in both spots.
Absolutely. All right. Well, we are going to get our new Platypus Posse member on. Elise.
Yes, hello.
Hello. Welcome to Miguel and Holly Uncensored. Elise, have you listened to the podcast before?
Yes, I have.
Oh,
thank you.
Well, welcome. Thank you for joining us. You're part of the Platypus Posse. Have you heard Stacy give one of her readings before?
Yes, I have.
Okay, perfect. So you know that at this point, we will hand it over. It is the three of us watching, and then you and the Platypus Posse that are watching and listening to the podcast, and we will turn it over and just eavesdrop in.
Thank you.
Hello. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm good. Thank you so much for this opportunity, sincerely. And because you already know how I roll, I am just going to state that I do work solely and strictly through God. You're always in charge of your own fate, and you're always in charge of your own destiny. And I immediately want to lift you up. And I don't know why I feel like this. And just if I sound like a complete idiot, I apologize. But it's this whole thing of you've got the entire world sitting on top of you, and it's almost hard to breathe because you're carrying so much around you for everybody else up. Around, I don't know how to explain it, but that it's literally like everything is sitting on top of you. And I want to lift you up to give you confidence and let you know that you're holding the world really well. Does that make sense to you?
Yes, it does.
It's like the only way I can describe this, and sometimes when other people have had sessions with me, I'll use the snow globe effect. And it's basically them sitting in the middle of a snow globe and everything else around them is in complete chaos. That's almost like the world right now for you, but more in the sense of family and almost like you're holding everything together for those that you love and to keep everything together just so they can be okay. Does that make sense?
100%. Absolutely. And I'm good with that.
I was going to say, you're doing an amazing job, but you're being encouraged from heaven that you're doing such a good job. I'm going to just jump into this. And if I sound stupid, then that's how this is going to go, but I'm going to go with it. Does your dad pass, or is this your grandfather?
My dad.
Okay, because he's thanking you for holding the world together for everybody else.
Oh, you've
had to make some major choices and major decisions recently that you weren't so great about making, where you're going, what if this is wrong? What if this is wrong? What if I'm not doing it the way that he would have wanted it? You did it right. And it's almost like celebratory. Does that make sense to you?
Yes, absolutely.
Okay. The other thing too, and this is going to be rough too, you've had to kind of make boundaries, and it's not to be disrespectful, and it's not to hurt anybody's feelings, but it's to keep your emotional sanity. Continue those boundaries. I don't care how it affects others. You've got to do this little bit for yourself to keep you going, because you are still kind of grieving, but you're still kind of in shock. How long ago did this happen?
3.5 years ago, but to us it feels like 3.5 weeks ago.
Yes. Because this is all so big. You're still in that place of like, wow, okay, he's really gone. I don't know how to explain it, but that. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Okay. Is your mom still here, or are you taking care of like a sister person? Because there's a female you're holding responsibility for.
Yes, my mother lives with me now.
Okay. God bless you. I know how hard that is for you right now, because you're also not dealing with who she was. You're dealing with a different person, and just knows to be patient, be kind. And I know it's really exhausting, but you're doing an incredible job by all this.
That makes me feel good. That he
Okay,
sees it.
Oh, he does, and he's celebrating it sincerely. The other thing too, I don't know if you actually have like a playlist of music that you play for him, or you have a playlist of music for him, but he keeps saying, "Thank you for playing my songs."
Yep.
Okay. It's really important that you know that he's there to like literally that you're never alone.
Good.
Do you have any questions for me?
I was just going to be my biggest one, but you pretty much answered it already, was can he see that my mother was with me? You know, that she moved in and that she's taken care of.
Yeah, and you went into that full mode of like, this is how this is going to go down. There's no ifs, ands, or buts. And you're so selfless. And I know that you're not doing it for praise. I know that you're doing it because it just needed to be done. And you're one of those people that just step up and move on and do what you've got to do. And that's the other reason why all of this is hitting you the way that it's hitting you now, because you've been in reaction mode this entire time. And now that things are finally settling down, that's why the grief is beginning, if that makes any sense to you.
Yes, it's been hitting all over again.
Yeah. That's because you're allowed to grieve now. You're allowing yourself to grieve. You've taken out the attention away from everybody else. Go ahead.
If you don't mind me asking, do you see if my father can see my children, what they're doing now?
So you have a son as well, correct?
Yes.
All right. Does he wear a uniform? Or did he
No.
wear a uniform? And I only say that, sorry, say that again?
Nope, not a uniform.
What does he do?
My son, he's in high school. He's a senior.
Okay, so I'm going to be that person, and don't mind me, but I keep seeing him wearing a uniform later on in life.
Really?
Like, yeah, like it's one of those things like you're never going to believe this, but he's going to be bigger, better, more than what you expect. He's making an impact on life. Like that's one of his purposes. And everything he has to do in his world has to be his way and his idea. You can't push it on him or he's going to be shut down.
That is Matthew.
Yeah. Everybody else is wonderful. Everybody else is great. Sincerely. People do have dreams about your dad. That is him visiting. I don't know if somebody like woke up with you feeling like somebody was in the room or whatnot. Please know that they were there and that was actually a thing of like, it was almost like God gifting you guys the ability to see him to let you guys know that he was at peace.
Okay.
So ask around for me if that doesn't hit home for you, because sometimes what I'm saying may not work for you, but maybe working for your mother or somebody else.
Okay.
So thank you so much for this. Like sincerely.
Thank you so much. I have one more question if you don't mind.
Absolutely.
Does he see big things that my daughters are doing?
Yes, they're going to be changing the world. It's one of those things though too, to continue to be behind them, but don't push them too hard. And it's one of those things of like, so do you have two daughters doing the same thing, or one daughter doing one thing that's massive and the other one trying to do her own thing that's big and trying to make a big change in the world as well?
I have 3 daughters and 2 of them are doing big things, different things, but big.
Different things, but big things. Okay, one of them gets in her head a lot about whether or not she's actually going to follow through with it. That one's actually going to be the one that absolutely follows through with it. She's just got to keep reminding herself of her value and keep reminding herself of the value and not the money. It's not about the money, it's about the purpose.
Okay.
So, yeah, everybody's good. It's just one of them gets in their heads a lot about whether or not they're doing the right thing for the right reasons. And they have to keep an eye on the purpose, not the financial aspects of it.
Okay.
So congratulations. You've done a great job.
I appreciate it. Thank you so, so much.
Elise?
Yes.
We're going to step in here because I had so many questions, but I didn't want to interrupt this session. I'm like, woo, girl, hold on. All right. So I feel like we are severing the connection of, the official session here. So now this is just, 3 radio people having some questions for you. So what is happening like with your mom? Like, if you don't mind us asking.
No, of course. She is the kindest, greatest woman ever. But when my dad died, she was in the house by herself and wasn't able to get around too good. So we kept saying, come with us, come with us. And finally, after a year, she said, okay, you're right. And, you know, her health has declined, but she is so appreciative and she is just a wonderful woman. I'm very blessed to have her.
Now, I'm assuming if I do the math right, you have 4 kids?
Correct.
4 kids, and are they all out of, you have Matthew that's in high school, and then are they out of high school? Are they out living?
Yep, I got Kaylee. Kaylee is in Europe right now doing school. Trina moved out. She's engaged. And then I have Matthew, and then I have Madison in 8th grade.
Are you
Got a
tired?
house full and outside.
That's Fuller House.
I'm not
Full House, Fuller House.
Yeah.
Are you tired, Elise, girl? Because it sounds like you were just going nonstop.
I do get tired at night. Yeah, like when I hit the bed, I crash and I'm out in 5 minutes.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
My
How could you
goodness.
not? There's so much going on.
What part of Charlotte do you live in?
We live in Morrisville.
Morrisville. Awesome. So here's what I'm gonna do, because I don't know why. I feel like you got a lot going on. So we're gonna see if we have one of our gift cards to the restaurants or something.
Cool.
And try to give you something. I don't know why. My spirit is like, you need something for you. Just from watching what Holly's been through with her mom and what my mom went through taking care of my grandmother, I know that can be such a lonely thing, even if you have people around you, but still every waking moment that you have in your life is going towards taking care of someone. And so you probably need, just even if it's an hour, 45 minutes, to just go enjoy a nice dinner somewhere.
Yeah, it's a lot. It's just mentally, physically, emotionally exhausting.
It's funny, it is, but it isn't though, because it's easy and everything kind of always falls into place.
Good. I'm glad.
She was a wonderful mother, and she was an even better grandmother to my children. So I'm grateful.
I love that.
Good.
Kelvin, do you have something?
Yeah, I didn't know if you wanted to brush upon this, but there was a moment within the reading that we talked about the summer playlist or the song, and you kind of got a little emotional about it, and I wanted to kind of just dig into that. Is there a specific song that your dad loved that you're playing and that he, kind of contacted Stacy about it?
We'll play Chuck Berry. We play like the Beach Boys, and he loved all that kind of music. So we'll just play it, or like even the 50s. I'll play it, in the kitchen, and kind of so my mom can listen to it, and it brings back the memories for her. Yeah, he was super impactful on my entire family.
Oh, that's so sweet. Oh,
well, that's so
I love
awesome.
it.
Well, we are giving you major hugs. Elise, thank you so much for trusting us to be able to listen in on this reading with Stacy. And thank you so much for giving us a chance and listening to our show and engaging with the podcast, because it's very scary for us to make the move here to Charlotte. So people like you are the ones that make sure we can still eat and have jobs.
Yes, thank you.
Yep.
Thank you for feeding my child.
Yes,
Thank
Elise.
you so much for gifting me, the opportunity to speak with her. I really appreciate it. It makes me feel better. It lifts me up a little bit.
Good.
Absolutely. And we'll be in contact. We got to see what we have gift card wise, but we'll try to hook you up with something. Okay.
I so appreciate it. Thank you so much.
Awesome. Thank you, Elise.
Have a good day.
You too. Bye-bye.
Thanks. Bye.
That is like the definition of like a selfless woman right there. And she's like, oh, I enjoy it. I love it. And I'm like, all I could picture was like myself in her shoes and how miserable I would be, because I'm a selfish person. And so I was like,
I don't know if you're a selfish person. I just think some people are more suited to be caretakers.
Yeah.
Maybe. I don't think that makes other people selfish. Well, some people are selfish.
That's what we'll call it.
But also, selfish doesn't always have to be a negative connotation. You're
Right.
a great friend. You're a great leader.
True.
And you just don't want to take care of no damn kids. Or whatever. That's cool. No dogs, no kids. It's cool.
Everybody's situation is different.
Yeah.
Like, she talked about her taking care of her mom and stuff, and I'm like, oh God, I know that's exhausting. She's like, no, I love it. I'm like, oh yeah, never mind. That's what I meant to say. I love
You're like,
it.
yeah.
It is not exhausting at all. It is invigorating.
Yes.
There you go.
Everybody's situation is different. That's all.
And
So.
Stacy, you had some big news in your life. Do you mind sharing with us? Or is that
I am glad to share it. I became a grandmother. Last week.
Yes.
So it was a big deal. My oldest daughter, Emily, had her first child.
Congratulations!
Yep. Thank you. She was a peanut. She was 5 pounds, 15 ounces.
Oh, so little.
Oh, and how is
Oh,
everyone
it was-
doing?
They seem to be well. They ended up leaving to go to Orlando. So
Are they
really
okay?
I think so. I have not spoke to her at all in the last couple of days, but I'm hoping so. So yeah, well, we shall see. I'm assuming so because I have not heard different. So.
Oh my gosh. Well, I
Yeah.
hope
So-
everything is okay.
Yeah, me too.
Whenever we have Stacy on the show, do we call you Grandma?
No.
Soul Worker Stacy?
Oh,
I mean, if you want to, I keep going back and forth on this because my mom's mom was Graham or Grammy, and my mother was Gamma, and so then I've always said I want to be a Mimi because I'm in my early 40s, y'all. I'm like still a very young human being,
Right.
Yeah.
so. I keep going back with like Mimi or Grand Mimi just because, I don't know about that grandma thing.
I know.
I
So
still have a 6-year-old, y'all.
I don't think you need to be grandma right now. You gotta come up with a cute little name. Yeah.
Yeah. Come on, Noni, Chachi. Wait, we did that segment once and it
Mima.
was like, what are all the different names that people call?
Yeah.
And I wish I could remember some of the crazy ones, but we need to find something crazy for you.
One of my cousins, like all the women are usually nanas. I'm sorry. I am having such a bad like sneezing attack of I don't even know why.
I'm telling you, if
sneezing and
you
sneezing and sneezing.
listen to the podcast, you gotta go onto the Facebook or YouTube.
I am dying.
Holly,
You guys are both.
Holly has like sneezed like
I'm about
20
to
times.
blow my nose into a sweater. I have no tissues in
Oh.
here. Like
Oh.
it's disgusting. Anyway,
Raise the
Wait,
volume
Holly,
on that.
no, go find
Thank
some
you.
Kleenex. I'm just gonna mute you real quick. Go find a Kleenex.
it's gonna take me time to go to the bathroom.
That's cool.
Holly,
All
it's
right.
it's fine. Go ahead and take your time. It's fine. We're here. We're
Hey.
just talking with Stacy.
Bye.
I can just hear like
She said.
So what was it like though, Stacy, watching someone that you gave birth to now giving birth? I'm so curious. Like that must
Yeah.
be so surreal for you.
It was insane. I will tell you my whole little story. She was like so gosh darn hell bent about making sure I was in that delivery room. And big shout out to Bayfront Baby Place because all of my nurses and everything like that took care of me when I had my son because I had preeclampsia and lived there for 6 weeks. So I made all these friends, especially doing what I do. So they were there. And it was really cool because they had broken her water and she had to be induced because she had early signs of preeclampsia. And she was 38 weeks. And they went ahead, broke her water, and then they were telling her, okay, you got the epidural, take a nap. And I'm like, yeah, take a nap because the next hour or so you're going to be having a baby. And she's like, is it really going to be that quick? I'm like, if you're my child, yes, it will. And sure enough, within the hour, I got called back and she was just waking up and she's like, Mom, I don't feel good. She's like, I got all this pressure. I was like, oh, and I looked at the doctor came walking in behind me and sure enough, baby was almost crowning. She had 5 pushes and that baby was out. And I got to be there. It was amazing. And I got to I sat back in the corner and just watched and cheered her on because she did an amazing job. She truly, truly did. It was a cool little experience.
Now, with all of your gifts that you have and abilities, like does it feel? I'm assuming like there's a new life coming in. So like, do you have all these bells and alarms and whistles that are going off inside of your head? And are you just like, oh my God, here we are, there's new life? And are there people from the past that are coming through to sort of like, bring, or let me not put words into your mouth, but like, what is that like with your abilities and gifts watching someone give birth? Or is there nothing crazy happening?
It's actually really, really crazy. Something with my family. 3 things. One of us, me or one of my daughters, will have a death dream. When there's a death dream, there is bound to be a pregnancy or a baby born within the week. 100% fact. Then, with both of my pregnancies for my youngest son and with my daughter Emily, my oldest son at 4 years old told me that he had talked to God that day and there was a baby in my belly. And he went on to tell me, I always say, because he's predicted my husband's death because of this whole conversation. That's a whole nother podcast.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
He did. I will tell you real quick. We were in the car, and my husband and I were working on having a baby, and we had names picked out, but of course we didn't share it with the kids. And they had no idea that we were working on having a baby. And he's 4 years old in the back seat, and he's like, "Mommy, I talked to God today." And I'm like, "Oh, good, honey." And of course, I'm not going to pull anything out. I'm letting it be because I don't want to encourage anything. And he was like, "Yeah, and he's going to be like Luke Skywalker. He's going to almost die twice, but he's okay. He's going to live till he's 58." I'm like, "Okay, buddy, that's great." He goes, "But I'm having a baby brother. He's in your belly now." And I'm like, "Oh, okay." I'm like, "Sure." And in the meantime, he was like, "You don't have to worry about him dying, though. It's not going to be like my daddy," which he calls my husband, even though he's a stepdad, his dad. And he's like, "He's going to die when he's 54, just like his dad." And I'm like,
What?
and I turned literally turned my head like, "You don't tell people when they're going to die. It's a rule." And literally, it's one of those things that I leaned over to my husband. I was like, "Hey, how old was your dad when he passed?" He goes, 54. I'm like, "Of course."
Oh,
So you gave your gifts to your kids. Stacey.
oh.
Happy
Oh,
birthday.
it's a whole thing. So now my husband is convinced that he's going to go skydiving, on his 53rd birthday, just to be like, "Ha ha, I told you I wasn't going to die at 54. So we'll see what happens. In the meantime,
Stacey said, "We'll see what happens."
That's not funny.
She's like,
we'll
whatever.
see. So in the meantime, my youngest died right before my mom got sick. Because mind you, my mom got sick. I found, this is crazy, I'm going to start crying. My son's birthday party, my mom came, and she wasn't great. And that's when I found out while Coldplay's Yellow was playing, my daughter told me she was having a baby. 2 weeks before that, my youngest son, Lucas, is walking around going, "Mommy, there's a belly. Emily has a baby in her belly, and it's going to be a little girl, but Grandma's got to go take care of her."
Oh.
What?
Yeah.
Not him too with the gift?
Yes!
Oh my
Yeah,
gosh, girl, you just
jeez.
spreading that gif all over, honey.
Seriously.
That's what I did in college.
It's insanity. I mean, truly insanity. And I'm like, okay. Well, my mom got diagnosed with stage 4 cancer 2 days later.
Oh my goodness.
So, yeah. It's a thing. It's a thing. So, yeah, lots of crazy stuff happens.
Do they want to get into what you do as well, Stacey? Or are they just
I
like,
don't
this is fun?
This is fun. It's a definite. I don't encourage it. My oldest daughter can do bits and pieces of it as she feels things. She's learned to talk about them, and they're true. My youngest daughter is the most analytical, black and white. Doesn't want to deal with it. Doesn't want to see it. Doesn't want to work with it. She actually sees them, and she used to see them clear as day. We have a joke whenever we go to St. Augustine. If we see the people in costume, we're like, "Hey, Ash, dead person, watch out." And she was like, "That's not funny, Mom, because I can't tell the difference." Yeah.
Oh gosh. Oh.
So it's a whole thing. It is a whole thing. So yeah.
That is so fascinating to me.
Yeah.
Wow. Well, Stacey, thank you so much for taking time out. Oh,
Wait, I feel like I went to the bathroom and then did we figure out what we're going to call you?
oh no, not yet. No, she's still figuring it out.
Oh, you're still thinking it out? You're okay.
Yeah,
Mimo.
we don't know if it.
It's not going to be me,
Kelvin
Mom.
said,
Mimo,
"Mimo,
Stacey.
Mimo, Stacey, how you doing, girl?"
No, absolutely no. No.
Mimo. See, but if you say Mimo, you gotta say Mimo, Stacey, Renee.
Mimo.
Yeah, you have to use your middle name.
I'm thinking Mimi. Mimi, Stacey,
like
Renee.
Mimi.
'Cause it's like, yeah, Mimi. And it's
Mimi's
cutesy,
good.
so-
It's just
Yeah.
Southern enough, but it's not me, Ma.
Oh,
I
It's-
like.
the work. No.
See,
Thank you.
I like Mimi because it reminds me of Mariah Carey, the Emancipation of Mimi. So I'm like,
Good bitch. I was going to say that.
ah!
The gay mind.
Come on, Stacey, you're giving me some Mariah Carey vibes, girl. Come on,
Hey, I'm
yeah.
all the way
Love it.
down for that.
I
Okay,
love
all
it.
the way down.
Stacey, where can people book a session with you if they are super interested and they're like, I'm a little afraid to do this on the podcast with everyone listening? How can they contact you?
I am desperate to book up some sessions. I am here to make a difference, and I am here to do it. Do not be afraid. I hear people all the time, "I've been waiting for months to come talk to you, but I've been scared." Screw that noise. Just make an appointment. See how life changes and see kind of things that happen. It's amazing. SoulWorkerStacyRenee.com, and please follow me on Instagram at SoulWorkerStacyRenee.
Perfect.
And Kelvin, you just had a reading off the air, correct?
I did.
And how was it?
It was wild. I had said this on my Insta story, but I basically said how she legit knew some very intimate details about me and Oscar.
Oh.
And I was like, I wonder why she's getting the most accurate information was from that. So little things that we do to each other that I don't really share. And she was like, well, that's like top of your mind, and that's what's most important to you. So that's why. And I was like, okay. And I said it too. Like a lot of the things that I talked about, like I haven't said it on air. I haven't said it. You could look at any podcast I've done where I've talked about Oscar, my family, and like she knew. And that was just it was so cool. And then the whole past life thing was really interesting because I've always had an affinity for like Paris, France. And she told me that I was a pilot. And I died. But it was in France.
Oh,
so it was really
Whoa.
cool. Yeah. So I was like, that makes sense.
Wow. Oh, I love it.
That's really neat.
Oui,
Oh,
oui.
Croissant.
Well, Stacy, thank you so much and have a beautiful weekend, okay?
Thanks, all of you guys. Sincerely sending you so much love and thank you. And stay safe up there. Seriously.
Yes.
But, yeah. Thanks.
Will do.
Have a great day, guys. Y'all
You too.
take care.
You too.
Bye.
Holly, so you said you don't have any power at your house still?
Nope. Still no power. I just got a text from a friend whose power just came back on. And she's like, I have a big cooler full of ice. You want me to head your way? And so I texted my boyfriend and he was like, yes, please. So we're getting some ice delivered.
Right.
And so this morning while I've been here in the building, my daughter didn't have school. Maya didn't have school. So they've been doing cleanup efforts because we did not get any damage. Very thankful. But there was it's just a mess when something like that comes through. So he and Maya spent the morning, I believe, like cleaning up the yard. And, I said, give Maya specific tasks. So the two of them just spent the morning cleaning up and still no power. I think at this point, everything in the fridge and the freezer is spoiled. So starting from square one.
That's the worst.
Obviously we're talking about like petty stuff now. So I fully understand that I'm talking about petty stuff because some people
money,
have lost
though.
homes.
I mean, there are people that have going through what you go through and they don't have the money to replace those items,
right.
Yeah. And that's the thing. It'll be a slow build to get back. Like, you have a stocked freezer and then everything just goes bad and you're like, what do we even buy now? I don't remember. So that'll be over the next, couple of days. We will just take stock and replenish. I did get a text last night from Duke Energy that said the latest your power will be back on would be Saturday night at midnight. Possibly before then, but I'm looking at potentially today and tomorrow no power. So
our house is open. No one is there if you need a place to stay.
I appreciate it.
It has been cleaned.
And there's electricity?
And there's electricity.
Girl,
so
what you waiting on?
Gotta get on over there.
Something real nice in that kitchen. I know you saw it.
Right?
We all did.
On that free HGTV house that we got that we didn't
nice
pay for.
Marble slab counter that we oohed and awed over.
They literally interrupted your damn broadcast to tell you, hey, do you want this?
Look at this thing. Look at this nice black and white piece of marble.
Like we're about to do blown off.
Yeah.
Sure.
And Mika busting. Hey y'all, come look at this marble.
Like, can we just say? No, we can't say probably behind the scenes, but like how that worked.
I mean, clearly it was like
it was orchestrated.
It was orchestrated.
You can't just bust up in the studio mid-break with a piece of damn marble.
Well, I mean, if you listen or watch anything that we did, you know that like Holly didn't sit in that position and Scott and I did not stand next to each other. But it was like for TV. And so like it has the lighting and everything. So like I didn't know what it looked like. That part of it was a surprise, but like just the staging of it was like, all right, we're gonna bring this by, and so we had to get ready. Yeah, and like Holly, you didn't look like that ever.
I never look like that. Are you kidding? Do I ever look like legit, like broadcast cable TV ready on a regular like Wednesday?
I wish I could get a picture because you were like, oh, it's 7:30 in the morning, and Holly's hair is like perfectly straight. Her makeup is TV ready.
Yes, I'm wearing like a lovely sweater that I don't think I've ever worn to the work once. Like that is a going out party, like Christmas party sweater. I'm like wearing it in the studio like it's normal. My hair has been flat ironed, and I'm like, I have like big ass makeup on. I'm just like, Miguel, that's so crazy. Ah, like it was so no. That's not how that works.
It's so funny. So if you're a new Charlotte Platypus Posse member, and you may not know this, but my husband Abe and I were featured on 100 Day Dream Home on HGTV, and the episode came out this past April, and it was kind of like it was a little disappointing because like we're still so new here in Charlotte that like 0 people give 0 F's about, the new person on the radio being on TV, but like
nobody cares.
I was like, it's crazy.
Miguel's like, I'm on TV, y'all. And he was, and it was really exciting, but it was such a weird time of transition that it was like, it was a missed moment. That whole thing just fell so flat because not only did you miss getting to talk about it on the station that the buildup was on, but also you missed getting to live in the house.
No.
And like, you can tell, like, every single thing about that experience should have been more exciting.
Yes.
And I feel bad that it was not.
It was really crappy because, we got the call for this job in the middle of building the house. And that was one of the big discussions Abe and I had was, if we do make this move, we're building a fucking house.
For what?
In Tampa. Like, what are we going to do?
And that is enough reason, like, for anybody, obviously, to be like, no, we're already creating roots here. Like, we're going to say, but
right. And it's not like
right.
we were doing well at the job too. Like,
right.
Oh yeah.
Right. So that was just one of the many decisions that went into one of the many factors that went into the decision-making process. But this is, why I love Abe is he was like, listen, this will literally be one of the hardest things that we do in our life is making this decision to leave this behind. But I know that you have a dream that you have been working on and you have this feeling that this is the step that you need to take. So yes, it's going to be very difficult, but I will support you. But please believe along the way, I may make a few comments, but just know.
Allow him to make the comments.
So whenever the comments are made, I'm just like, go ahead. I know.
Yeah.
I know.
Yeah.
I know. I got it.
Oscar said that, but he also says, I uprooted my life for you. Like, bitch.
Sometimes, like, I think it just pops out. It must pop out. I don't know.
It
I'm not dealing with that, but like,
it just happens. Like, I mean, and especially in both of our Kelvin and my situation, I think there's different dynamics at play being in a gay relationship with 2 males, and you have, you both want to be like the breadwinner and you have that male ego that you're still dealing with. So I know for Abe, there's a lot of that too that's in him where it's like he's not working like he was, when we were in Tampa, when he had his own business and we were equally contributing. But I was like, take some time, heal your body because your body. But then there's some days I know that he's just like, well, here I am in Charlotte on the couch. And I'm like, I know, but it's going to come together. It just takes time. And you can like emotionally feel the pieces coming together now. It takes time. And that's one of the craziest things. Let me see if I can talk about this. Yeah, we can. Trying to figure out how to talk about it. Well,
give us a tea.
I feel the phrase of the year, 2 things can be true at the same time. We're in iHeartRadio. And so, Holly, you're in a building with people that we competed against for a decade.
Yeah. And that's weird.
That's weird.
We don't talk about that enough. Not that we need to, but it is weird.
So like, if you work at a Bank of America and all of a sudden you're working at Chase Bank with the tellers that you used to throw shade at.
I do. Hold on.
Do tellers do this?
Do tellers at Chase Bank throw shade to Bank of America tellers?
No.
Is there like a street war going on that I don't know about in the finance sector?
No. They're like
trying to make it.
Exactly. Who's ever paying the most, that's where they're going, bro. Okay.
Right. Well,
anyway.
we're just gonna pretend that's the case. Yes.
Right. But like if you've been competing against someone and all of a sudden you're working in their building. And so for our main competitor in Tampa, it's exciting to see them grow because we're now on the same team. But at the same time, the people that we did work with, it's exciting to see them grow. And so it's a lot of like interesting, weird feelings. I feel like we're in the year of just weird feelings where it's like you're jealous. Like, to be 100% honest, watching all of the media people from Tampa that, you know, we've grown up with now, that we've been there with, lock and arm step in this sort of situations with the hurricane, watching them give the resources and talk about it and help people out. It's like, yeah, do it. Go, Walter Allen, get it. But at the same time, I'm like, here I am posting a TikTok about me going to Bath and Body Works about food. And I'm like,
I did see that. It's so weird because most of the people on our social media are still Tampa people.
Right.
And I love that. I'm not saying that in any negative tone. It's hard on social media right now. Oh, poor us. I know. But like, I don't really know what to, I didn't know what to post about this hurricane. To be honest, I kind of stayed silent about it because I'm like, my workspace is Charlotte and they don't care. They don't care what I'm going through right now. They'll care when it comes there.
Right.
And so I didn't really say much. I said a couple of things. But that was just because I just wanted to get something off my chest on my social media. But like, it's, I don't know. I don't know what I'm doing.
Fraudulent every time like I share like, oh, a Miami meme or something. And it's like, I don't know. Maybe I personally, now thinking about it, like, I don't think anybody cares.
Right.
I don't think anybody actually does care. I mean, I posted the jersey that I got on my Insta story, and one previous listener goes, oh, like, never that. You're a dolphin. And I'm like, girl.
Yeah, we got that all so hard when we got Panthers jerseys, and all of the Tampa people were like, traitors.
I was like, never a dolphin. They suck.
Oh, no.
At least this building puts us in a suite in the football stadium. I didn't get shit in the last company. It's true. But I can say that because I was never on contract. You're making it bigger.
Sorry, I just had to. All right, it's time to go. Holly, what's your social media?
Radio Holly on TikTok, Twitter, and Instagram, and Go Home My Hot House. Actually, I'm very thankful it's not hot here. It's a gorgeous fall day. Like, thank gosh the hurricane brought through like a cold front, because it's been manageable to have no power with like, you know, a 70-degree breezy day. Holy moly, it's been great. So I'm going to go do that.
Right now in Charlotte, it is 54 degrees.
Oh!
Mm-hmm.
It is freezing.
And let's see here. Are
you cutting glass with your nips over there?
You want to see, girl? Come on, look at my nipple, girl. Come on.
Wait, the mic.
I can't see. Oh, I see it.
I just cut the microphone with my nipple, girl.
Synced it.
Kelvin, what's all of your social media?
At Kelvin Live. You guys are crackheads.
And mine is Miguel Fuller. You can find me anywhere. Thank you so much for listening to our new Charlotte Platypus Posse members. Make sure to go check us out on Facebook. We have a Miguel and Holly Fam /Platypus Posse group that you can be a part of. Follow us on Instagram at Miguel and Holly, and we will see you next week.
Miguel and Holly Uncensored.
Catch it on the iHeartRadio app or anywhere you listen to podcasts.